I'm Ed, and going against my wife's recommendation, I'm going to play my sympathy card. You already know by the name of my YouTube channel what my beliefs are and that sort of thing. But I'd like to point out to you that I'm a little different than most YouTubers you have ever seen. First of all, I'm 78 years old. I hope you think I look younger than that. Thank you. Secondly, the other part of my sympathy card, as my wife calls it, is this eye, my right eye, is totally blind. Maybe you can see a mark on the eye that, well, I think they call it a scar or something. And in my good eye, I don't see very well. So if it sounds like an old joke, blind in one eye and can't see it in the other, in my case, that's absolutely true. Okay, that's my sympathy card. Okay, what I want to talk about today is the simple idea. You're going to see it on the name of this video. The idea is, what in hell is God? Now, if that sounds a little blatant and a little blasphemous, so be it. But it's a serious question that I ask. I've been involved in conversations with a lot of religious people for a long time because I'm very interested in that. And my question to those people is, what is God? What are you talking about when you use that word? Because so far I have no idea. In my last video I talked about the idea that in my deconversion, I found a site that was called God is Imaginary. And I was hugely impacted by that site and the fact that there were people out there actually discussing this idea. But when I think back to that, I agreed with that God is imaginary. But when I think about it now, I don't know, saying God is imaginary, I don't know what that means exactly. Because, for example, I've thought of some other things that I don't believe exist. For example, Sasquatches or Bigfoot, whatever you want to call that. Now, the interesting thing about that is, people say that's imaginary. Okay, it's not real. I don't believe it's real. But at least I have an idea of what they're talking about. I think, as soon as I think about a Sasquatch, I think about some animal that maybe looks a little bit like a gorilla, some kind of big primate, maybe a human being kind of looking thing. And I see what they offer as evidence, some video that's kind of a dark video of something shadowy moving through the bush or something like this. Another example of something that is imaginary that I don't think is real would be the Loch Ness Monster. But when somebody talks about the Loch Ness Monster, I understand what they're talking about. They think it's like maybe a dinosaur that somehow survived since the age of the dinosaurs or something like that, or some big lizard or some animal, at least, that lives in the Scottish lake. But when we start talking about God, even though I use the words and hear other people using the words, I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't know what they mean. To be fair, the closest I can come to understanding what they seem to be saying is maybe a disembodied consciousness or something like that. And it doesn't help when they use words like spirit, because I have the same question. I have the same problem. I can't imagine what a spirit is. Another idea is ghost. I don't believe that ghosts exist. I'm a skeptic. But at least when we say ghost, I get this thing. I remember I used to love Casper the Friendly Ghost, and it was kind of like the shape of more or less a human being in a sheet or something like that, or a smoky, see-through kind of human being. All of those things, at least there's something that we're sharing in common, some way of imagining this thing, even though I don't believe it exists. The problem with the God claim is I don't know what people are talking about, especially like Christian people, the God of the Bible, Yahweh or something. I have no idea what that means. Or what are Christian people, do they envision something, or do they have some way of describing? I don't understand what it is they're talking about. Now, I hear people, it's interesting that as a non-believer, as an atheist, I get in discussions with people, and I discuss the thing on two levels. First, the level of the existence of this being, and I say I don't have a belief in that. I can't have a belief in that because so far it seems like impossible until you explain to me what you mean, what that thing is. You know, I've heard that it's all powerful. Okay, that's something it does. It's all knowing, it knows everything. Okay, that's something it does. I agree. But what is it? There's nothing. And I've never heard a Christian or Muslim, if they're talking about Allah, there's the same problem. I have no idea. Marco is just telling me that I should, está bien así, or how?
Está bien.
Okay, this is my idea of beauty. As I don't know how this video is going to turn out, but I absolutely love this young child. So anyway, in today's video, what I wanted to do, and I hope so far I've done it, explain to you that I guess I want to be different than other YouTubers. This is a brand new thing for me, being a YouTuber, but I'm very interested in this question of religion, the existence of God. I'm also very concerned about the teaching of the Bible as a way of living your life, because I think it's a lot of what the Bible teaches as good ways to live your life are immoral. The idea of hating, and even maybe worse, attitude towards homosexuals, women. The Bible seems to me to be incredibly misogynist, and so I'm totally against those ideas. And I think that it's a bad idea to teach the Bible as a way of living. That's separate from the problem of, does this God, who's the main character in the Bible, does it really exist or not? And as I said, I can't even get a handle on that because I have no concept of what they're talking about. My question is, what in hell is God? Can somebody please explain that to me?